Somebody was making this blanket and they had a problem with it curling up in the center. As you can see, this one is laying perfectly flat and is coming out beautifully. This is what it looks like on the one side, and I'm just going to flip it over. And this is what it looks like on the other side. You can see the beautiful pattern. The other thing that's very important with this pattern is you can see how everything is lined up perfectly. If it isn't lined up perfectly, then it's not going to come out right. Now I'm just going to crochet one row with you, but I wanted to show you a trick that I had in order to get everything to line up straight. What I did was I just put yarn markers into each of the front post double crochet stitches. That way you can see them as I crochet. So I've already moved up to my next row, so I made my chain 3. Now I'm going to make my first cross stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into the stitch right before the front post double crochet, and that's what you're going to do for every cross stitch. You're going to go right into the stitch right before the stitch where you're going to make your front post double crochet, and then you make your 2 double crochet in the same stitch. Then you're going to go back to the stitch that you skipped right before the stitch that you made the 2 double crochet, and you're going to make 2 double crochet into that stitch. So you can see how I come up from behind to make the 2 double crochet cross stitch. So this is the stitch right before the 2 double crochet. And then you make 2 double crochet into that same stitch. And then you finish your 2 double crochet cross stitch. Then you're going to make your front post double crochet around the stitch that I have my yarn marker in. I'm going to go ahead and remove the yarn marker, and then I'm going to make my front post double crochet around that post, just like I show in the original tutorial. And that's what my work looks like so far. Now I'm going to make 3 of them with you so you can see how I'm able to line up everything perfectly, and it comes out really nice. I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to go into the stitch right before the stitch I'm going to make my front post double crochet. If you always do that, then yours should line up just like mine and make a beautiful crochet blanket. So I put 2 double crochet into that same stitch. Now I'm going to go into the stitch that I skipped right before the stitch I made the 2 double crochets. I'm going to yarn over, go from behind. You can see how I'm making my cross stitch right above the previous row's cross stitch so that they line up perfectly. And I'm going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove the yarn marker that I had in there, and I'm going to make my front post double crochet into the previous row's front post double crochet. And you can see how I do that for every row, and then it will line up perfectly. All of your front post double crochets will line up. All of your 2 double crochet cross stitches will line up. So now I'm going to do one more with you. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the stitch right before the stitch that I'm going to make my front post double crochet. I'm going to make 2 double crochet into that same stitch. Then I'm going to go into the stitch right before the stitch with the 2 double crochet, and I'm going to make 2 more double crochet into that skipped stitch. And then that completes the cross stitch. A 2 double crochet cross stitch. Then I'm going to go ahead and take the yarn marker out of the stitch that I'm going to make my front post double crochet, and that's how I work it all the way across for every row. Go ahead and finish all the way to the end and then come back and I'll show you how to move up to the next row. You can see how flat my blanket is lying, and it's lined up perfectly and looking beautiful. Now I'm going to show you how to turn and start the next row. So at the end I have 1 more cross stitch to make. I'm going to make my last cross stitch. Then I'm going to make my last front post double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 3, turn my work, and then you're just going to repeat everything again. And it's just that easy, and it just turns out really beautiful. So I'm going to do 1 more with you. So I'm going to make my first 2 double crochet cross stitch. So here is my front post double crochet, so I'm going to work into that stitch right before it. And if you always do that, then yours should line up perfectly. Now I'm going to make my 2 double crochet into the stitch that I skipped right before the 2 double crochet to finish up the cross stitch. Then I'm going to make my front post double crochet. And I'm just going to repeat that all the way across until I have the number of rows that I want for my baby blanket. For the headband, I'm using this white headband. It's elastic, and it's by Celebrate It Head to Toe. Comes with a 2-piece pack. Then you just take whatever rows that you crocheted. I have several to choose from. This one is my crochet vintage rows, the classic vintage rows. The button that I used was by Bell Buttons by Dritz. It's a cute little bear. I just took my tapestry needle or a sewing needle and thread and just sewed it the button right to the center of the flower. Then I just take my tapestry needle and sew the flower onto the band. Make sure that the back of the band is towards the back and that you have the flower on the front as you sew. Whenever I sew my flowers on, I always go around the center spokes of the flower. And then tie the knot on the inside of the band. Then you have a quick and easy matching headband for your crochet blanket.